The War Within Season 2 is launching in about 2 months, and the patch notes just came out. There are massive changes to Enhance Shaman in these patch notes. First off, we have a massive Elemental Spirits nerf. Your dogs go from giving you 20% elemental damage to 10%, depending on the number of lightning dogs you have out. This is anywhere between a 20% to a 50% nerf on your nature damage at all times. To compensate, they made elemental dogs give 10% physical damage as well, but this is inconsequential for current builds. Secondly, they have made Primordial Wave a single-use ability. It will no longer give a buff when you cast it. Instead, it will immediately do a set amount of elemental damage to every Flame Shock target. This means you will need to Flame Shock and then Lava Lash to spread, and then use Primordial Wave. Lava Lash will now spread 6 Flame Shocks up from 5 to accommodate this. This will still apply Lightning Rods, so you will still have a 6 Lightning Rod window. However, the hit from Primordial Wave will do significantly less damage than the Lightning Bolts would have. They are adding a new talent that allows you to cast a single follow-up hit called Primordial Storm after each Primordial Wave. This is a big uncapped hit that does combined physical and elemental damage. However, it takes 3 talent points to reach, so you can't play it at the same time as Ascendant. Now, to counteract these nerfs and to appease people who enjoy using melee abilities, they have doubled the damage of all of our builders, and they have also tripled the initial damage of Crash Lightning. This is likely to spawn some new builds that focus a lot more on builder damage and don't bother so much with spending Maelstrom Weapon. I do not have much to say on this at the time. I will have to do a lot of experimentation when PTR comes up. Another nerf they have done is they have completely gutted the physical Totemic build. The Ascendance multiplier got reduced from 150% to 50%, the Sundering pulse got halved, and the loss of our old tier set means that we get a lot less damage amplification from our physical dogs. The highest possible multiplier of a hit goes from being about 27 times to only about 5 times. To counteract this, they have made the Sundering reset talent a bit more deterministic, and they have massively buffed all the Lava Lash talents on the Totemic tree, so now if you play Totemic, I suspect you will be playing a Lava Lash focused build. Now, they did change the talent tree a little bit. Hailstorm, Fire Nova, Ice Strike, and Swirling have been moved to the left, while Elemental Blast, Tempest Strikes, and Flurry have been moved to the right. The only real difference here is that you can go straight from Molten Assault into Hot Hands. Everything else is much the same. Now, the only change to our utility is that they have completely removed Ancestral Guidance. I think this is kind of crazy and really doesn't line up with their developer note where they think its healing is entirely passive. So to compensate, they buffed Healing Stream Totem, which I think is still going to be trash. It does nowhere near the healing of Ancestral Guidance, and will still not feel noticeable and will not feel like a good global to press. And other classes off-heal cooldowns like Vampiric Embrace were untouched. Apart from these buffs and nerfs, there were just a few other minor changes to some talents, and about half of the enhanced patch notes are just simply graphical or tooltip changes. Now, the last and most important thing is the tier set. It is so bad. The 2 set is a randomly proccing stacking buff to your builders, giving them up to 25% increased damage. Now, this theoretically could actually be pretty good, but there is a downside to this tier set in which spending Maelstrom Weapon has a chance to remove these stacks. This is pretty insane, and it could create a very toxic gameplay loop where you get to 5 stacks of this 2 set and then stop spending Maelstrom at all so that you do not drop this buff. The 4 set is a variable RNG cooldown reduction to Doom Winds. This is pretty lame as it removes agency from the player's decisions on when to press Doom Winds, and it also forces every Shaman to play Doom Winds, even though it does not benefit every build. And also, it is not incredibly impactful. Doom Winds is not a particularly powerful cooldown, it no longer has synergies with Totemic, and it will no longer perfectly line up with Ascendance. So all in all, these changes are definite nerfs to the current enhanced playstyle. There are a lot of changes that could lead to new builds being played. I don't think it's over for Enhanced, but a lot of things will change. It is very early in the patch cycle, so I wouldn't get too stressed out right now. It is not over. There is a lot of tuning and probably a lot of changes to come. The season is not being released till at least end of February, and the PTR is coming out at the start of January. I will be playing a lot of PTR when it comes out, and I will be trying a lot of different builds. Be sure to watch my stream if you are interested in that.